Welcome, everyone. We are live and it is Friday. It is Friday. My son says to me, Ma, today is Friday. I'm like, yeah. He goes, so when you get home, you're home, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, yay. And I was like, you're really not that happy to see me. You, because he thinks this, I don't know, Friday is the thing, but it is. And he's excited about Friday, and I'm excited about Friday. Little bit's excited about Friday. And so is the moon in my kitchen window. She's excited about Friday too. But listen, as we were reading the lecture last night, there was one sentence where he said, well, a paragraph where he said, it's an old saying that we tend to read and read and read and read and read, and it only brings about confusion sometimes. It brings about confusion. So that's why this morning, everywhere we turn to, we want more advice about this. We want more advice about that. Do you know what will give you all of the advice you need? Then you apply what you are learning. You know, a master electrician, a master plumber, they don't become anything unless they practice. You can go to class all day, but it is in the practice that you learn. So every day I get up and I tell you, practice. But what are you practicing? Let's reiterate what we practice. And the incredible thing is this. It is the only way to live. Uh-huh. We do it naturally. But because we do it so naturally and automatically, we think that when you learn it, it is something new. Not necessarily. It is not new. It is just that we were unaware of what we do. We always live from the inside out. We cannot live any other way. Honest. Pay attention and you'll see it. We are driven by our hunger. We are driven by our thirst, whether that be physical, emotional, psychological. We are driven by those things. So that's why when you hear the scriptures tell you, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness shall be filled, because our natural state is to be satisfied. We're not supposed to be unrequited. Now, let me address this. Sometimes we hold ourselves in an unrequited position. Sometimes we hold ourselves in an unrequited position, meaning we obsess over something, meaning we sit and we ruminate on it over and over and over and over. Thereby keeping ourselves in a state of dissatisfaction. You only hurt yourself when you pine, right? So instead of pining, what we do is, because sometimes we think, I read a lot when people say, oh, I've been really trying to get this thing done for so long. I'm so whatever. And then they say whatever they are. But do you know why that is there? Because you're not applying the principle. It is sometimes we get caught up in people. Sometimes we get caught up in things. And we do everything but. We go everywhere but to the principles. Right? So how do you apply the principles? Step one, know exactly what it is you want. And I will say this to you, when something, to tell the difference between the acceptance of your desire and the, what's that word I want to say? And the obsession. You can tell the difference between something you are obsessing about and something you have accepted. The thing that you accept is followed by peace. The thing that you obsess over is followed by a mental disturbance, meaning you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't do anything because this is all you can think about. Learn to discern the difference between the two. Acceptance brings peace. When you obsess over something, you torment yourself. And from that place of torment, we act rather, well, well, you can only act according to what you say you are on the inside, right? So don't spend any more time obsessing over something. The principles clearly define what the outcome always will be. The principles tell you, as within, so without. So you plant the seed, and you must reap the harvest. So you don't obsess. You get into the principles and you say, what is it that I truly desire? You see, sometimes we think we desire a person, when in actuality, it's just what the person represents that you desire. That's all. Sometimes that's exactly what it is. We desire things, but it is what it represents that we want. And sometimes we become fixated. But the encouragement is this: turn towards the principles. Look within yourself. Be honest with yourself. Because again, I hear it all the time. People say, I've been trying to figure it out. The only way to know that you've understood something is to do it. What do we do? There's three simple things we do. Define what it is that you want. You want a deeper spiritual experience? Define that. What does that look like? What does that feel like to you? Define it. And once you define it, it is going to make you feel a particular way. One of two ways. It will feel because it will bring about peace because you've accepted it. Or it'll feel like agitation because you feel like, I gotta be this, I gotta be that before I can attain this. No. If you say you want a deeper spiritual experience, what does that make you feel like? What's the first thing you would do if you had a deeper spiritual experience? Would you tell everybody? Would you walk with a quiet joy in your bosom? What would you do? Well, begin to experience that in your imagination. Now, I alluded to it a little bit last night, right? I alluded to it a little bit last night where I said we are always using our imaginations. But lately, we've decided to turn away from that which we naturally are. Practice using your imagination. Well, how do you do that? Any creative will tell you. A writer, a dancer, anybody who does anything. This is the word of the day, content creator. They have to have an imagination, right? And to exercise the imagination, you get in there, you say, I would like to do something different, something beautiful that people can relate to. And once you know what it is that you've defined, your objective, what you want, it's going to make you feel a particular way. Now, it makes you feel peaceful. It means you have accepted that the moment you state your objective, you have accepted your objective as reality. It means now you say, you know what? My content is innovative. My content is groundbreaking. And you don't say empty words. When you say my content is groundbreaking, you'd stand 10 toes down on that. And you know that it is. You know that it revitalizes the life in people. Well, how would you know that? Because it revitalizes you first. That's what it does. It revitalizes you first. Your content has to move you first. It's just like when you're cooking. If you don't taste your food first, how will you know? So when the scripture tells you to taste and see that the Lord is good, oh, that has nothing to do with anybody. That has to do with you. So your experience, taste your experience first, meaning allow it to permeate you so that you can bask in its glory when you say, oh, I don't even have any words to describe this experience. You are left in awe of what you've just experienced. And because you can feel it so viscerally, that means you've planted it and it now will grow into the rest of the world and other people will be impacted by it. So practice what you are learning. Step one, define your objective. What do you want? Do not justify why you want it. And some people say, but Angela, what if that's a person? Stop and ask yourself, is it the person or is it what the person represents? Peace of mind, tranquility, fun. That's what you actually want. Remember when Bruce Lee was talking to the guy and he says, I'm showing you the moon. And you're like, look at that crooked finger. Neville Goddard also said it. Neville said, sometimes we mistake the message and we want to take the vehicle instead. No, it's not the vehicle. It's the message. It's the way that the message makes you feel, how the message makes you want to grow beyond what you are. That is what you're looking for. And that comes when you accept that it is natural for you to grow. It is natural for you to expand. It is natural for you to rise. So know what you want. And then experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if you had it. And once you've done that, lay still and bask in the glory of it, in the glory of having it, having a beautiful experience, having the experience that changes your life. So you get the 3 steps because it is what we do naturally. I keep telling you, the moment we argue with someone in our heads, what do you think you're doing? Feeling it. You have defined your objective. I want to argue. Yes, you have. And then you begin to experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if you had your argument. And then you go along about your day and you rest in that. You stand 10 toes down in it. And then you want to act surprised when you have an argument. I use argument as the example because it is the most readily available thing that we do on a daily basis. You don't stop and ask yourself, do I really want this argument? No. You commit wholeheartedly to it. Sometimes we have to become indifferent to things where we say, no, my peace of mind is far greater than argument. And so when you define your objective as your peace of mind, well, then you begin to experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if you had peace of mind. And then you stand, sit, or lay still and allow the sensation to permeate your body to confirm to you. When your body responds to what you're thinking, your body says, seed planted. Or it says mental impregnation completed. That's what it says. The moment you have that thing in your mind's eye and your body says, oh, yes, I feel it, that is confirmation that you have planted the seed. And once you plant the seed, if you plant a stronger seed than it, you'll uproot it. Cody! I've been saying your name for the past couple days because I hear you in the back of my head. You say, hello. I said, oh, Cody. I love you. I really, honest, have been thinking about you for the past couple of days, and it's amazing. And here you, I look down and bam, there you are, like, that's what I mean when I say to you, the things that we contemplate and ruminate over, we bring into our experience day in and day out. Now, I remember Neville told this story about a teacher who had this one student, this one female student in class, and everybody from the principal to the superintendent, everybody said this is a bad child. But this teacher, so she went out to a Neville Goddard lecture one evening, and Neville said, "What do you want?" And she said, she sat there as she was listening. She says, "Well, I just want that student to be the best that they can be. I don't want people to judge them anymore. I just want them to be the best that they can be." This was a Friday night. And Neville says, "Good, now that you know what you want, begin to experience in imagination what you would experience in reality." And she sat there, and in that audience, in her mind's eye, she saw that student, and it was 180 degrees. This student was top of the class. Nobody had anything bad to say about this student. And that's what she saw and felt in her mind's eye. And Neville said, "Well, let us go into the silence and just sit there in it." And that's what she did. She got up after the lecture was over and she went home. Monday morning comes around. Because remember, with that girl, what I didn't tell you is they were planning on expelling her from the school system come that Monday morning. And that's what drove the teacher to do what she did. And so she went to school that Monday morning. She walked in and got all prepared. And that student came in. 180-degree turn. She sat there, she didn't argue, she listened, she asked questions, she participated. So much so that the principal was like, wait, we can't expel her. She's not doing anything wrong. This wasn't the same child. Now, some would say, well, that's the invasion of the body snatchers. No, it's not. And that child went on to do magnificent things. Why am I telling you this? Because the principles work in every area of our lives. That's why I work in customer service. And let me tell you, I've had my share of customers. Oh, yes, I have. Some who are brilliant, others, well, leave you shaking your head about the trajectory of humanity. But nonetheless, I made a declaration of my objective that not only do I give the best customer service, I get the best customer service, and all the customers I interact with are on point. They're phenomenal. And slowly but surely, I'm seeing it unfold. So wherever you are, wherever you go, whatever you do, hey, Richard Marks, you know how we do it. It doesn't matter what it is you're living. Use the principles. Oh, but Angela, that's so trivial. It is not trivial because it is your life. Your life is not trivial. It is a beautiful gift. So apply the principles everywhere. You want a good parking spot? Apply the principles there. How good it would feel if you don't have to walk far. You want to save so that what money you have stretches and goes. You want more money? Apply the principles. Step one, know what you want. Step two, experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if it were true. And step three, stand still and allow the sensation to permeate every fiber of your being. Because right there, when your body says, ooh, I feel it, then what happens? Mental impregnation completed. Meaning you've planted the seed in the garden of your mind. You actually created a neurological pathway in your brain. And what happens from that neurological pathway? You live your life from there, and your experiences show up to match. This is not hocus pocus. People say, oh, that's just nature. I always put my whole self into everything and I declare what I want. I don't need no law. Hello, you can't not use the law. You live by it whether you want to or not. So if you say, I'm just really focused and that's why I'm a go-getter and I get what I want, that's because you have become it already. You're already doing it. You just didn't know. Because that is the law that runs absolutely everything, including our fake moon in the sky. But I digress. You didn't hear that from me. Everything is built on a rhythm, a pattern, including us. So today, my beautiful friends, quit looking everywhere and start inhaling and exhaling and grasping what you are. Oh, yes. I dare you. Let's pull a Greta Thunberg. How dare you? Anyway, don't let me keep you. Let me say hello to everybody who's here, because you know how it is. Oh, maybe she's mad at me. She hit her face. My bad, Moon. I'm sorry. Mm. Twitter is as Twitter is, right? Tumblebee Twitter, but we are all right. Big Mike is in the house. Hey, Wendell. Miss McQueen. Oh, and the lovely Casey. Oh, Cody had to go. Wisdom Almighty. Relatable. Foxy the one. Hello. Let's get it. Hello. I see you. Hi, Jeff. Listen, thank you all for being here on this glorious morning. This glorious, glorious Friday. Thank you all for being here. Go forth and practice. What are you going to practice? Know what you want. You realize that when you say, I don't know what I want, you stall. The moment you decide what you want, you move. This is why it is imperative that you know what you want, because it moves you to act. Oh, have mercy now. So know what you want. Objective defined. And then begin to experience in imagination what you would experience in reality. It doesn't say watch what you would experience. No, it says to experience in imagination what you would experience in reality, which means if you would say hallelujah, do it in your imagination. If it means you would say, girl, you don't know, experience that in your imagination. You have to experience it, because who's the one who's going to be experiencing it on the outside? Yeah, you. You will be experiencing it on the outside. So how do you want to behave? Rehearse. That's what step two means. Rehearse in imagination what you would actually do in reality. So if you're going to be saying, thank you for my Grammy, thank you for my Oscar, listen, you don't want to get up on that stage and go, uh, you know, you want to get up there and have the words just pour out of you. Why? Because you rehearsed in imagination what you would actually do in reality. That's how you do it. And then when you're done experiencing it in imagination, just stand still, sit still, lay still, whichever stillness you want to do. And allow the sensation of what you have just experienced. I told you, when your body feels what you just told it to be true. That is your body saying to you, I believe you. And when your body says, I believe you, mental impregnation has occurred. So now you have the steps. Don't look at the steps. Walk them step by step. Oh, baby. Sorry. If you didn't just see Joey McIntyre in your mind's eye with those big blue eyes, I don't know what just happened, because I know I did. But anyway, I digress. I love you. Take joy, because that's what happens to you when you acknowledge the principles in your life. You get this joy unspeakable and full of glory. Full of glory, full of glory. It is joy unspeakable and full of glory. Right? That's what happens to you when you accept it. The joy doesn't come from how much you have accumulated. The joy comes from knowing that you can bring it about. But look, let me stop. Let me stop. Let's go. I see you. Let me stop. Whew. Oh, we have someone in the audience from Bangladesh. Oh, listen. Last night I said to someone, we got to take the principles worldwide. And here we have Bangladesh in the house. Well, welcome, Mukta. Welcome all the way from Bangladesh. What a pleasure it is to have you here. Oh, yes. You see? Listen, just practice. 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 Know what you want. Rehearse in imagination what you would experience in reality. And then as you rehearse it, feel it and stand still and let that feeling permeate your body all over. So much so that when your body is saturated with that feeling, that reminds me of Agent Smith. He goes, I am saturated by it. And he shoves his fingers up Morpheus's nose. Because of that word, I'm saturated by it. Oh, anyway, that's what you do. Allow yourself to be saturated, permeated, penetrated by the truth of what you have just felt. And in a way, as Neville says, that you do not know, it unfolds for you. Not because you deserve it, but because you are the one saying, I call those things that are not as though they were, and they become. That is what you do on a daily basis. Hey, Smokey, I see you. Ow. I don't know if you'll hear the rooster this morning. He was already singing at 4:39 a.m. Bright-eyed, he was singing, and I was singing right along with him. So he's probably taking a nap till he'll sing again. But let us chime in. When you hear the chime this morning, go through the 3 steps with the same objective over and over and over again. And lose yourself in it. Let us get the daytime chime. Wow. I just want to acknowledge all the people here on the YouTube that have not made themselves known in the chat. There's 16 of them there. That is absolutely fascinating to me. Oh, what a pleasure. Welcome, all of you. Well, you'll have to catch the replay because countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you know tonight where we will be. Right here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will continue with Chapter 2 of Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. Chapter 2. So today, as we go through this day, remember your mission should you choose to accept it. Step 1, know exactly what you want. Step 2, rehearse in imagination what you would do in reality if you had it. And step 3, stand still, sit still, lay still, but whatever stillness you are in, allow yourself to be permeated, saturated, penetrated by the feeling of the reality of it. And go about your day. Set your timer if you want for every 2 hours that you repeat that process. You know what it does? It keeps your mind upon what is good, what is true, what is honest, what is of good report. It keeps your mind there instead of allowing the mind to wander upon things. When you focus the mind, you strengthen yourself. But when you allow it to run amok, hither and yon, doing whatever it wants to do, well, then you can never build any momentum. But remember what it says, that to control the mind is not, it's not the way of the tyrant, but the way of the lover, with gentleness. So gently bring yourself back to knowing what you want, rehearsing what it is, and feeling what it is. Know, rehearse, feel. Oh, know, rehearse, and feel. Again, know it, rehearse it, feel it, and then what happens? You will live it. We be living it up. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Anyhow, I love you all, and I'll see you tonight right here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, fan base. Ow. I love you all, and thank you for spending your beautiful Friday morning with us right here. And you can always slide into my DMs if you have any questions. I do answer questions. Shoot, you could even consider becoming a member of this channel for 99 cents a month. That could also be helpful too. Anywho, you know how it is. You know your girl loves you, and I will see you tonight. Much love to you all. Hold on, fan base. You know how we end the day. Gayeth. Is that how I pronounce it? Gayeth Belushi? I see you. Welcome. I see you. Slay the day. I see you too. Ow. Slay the day. Anyway, gotta go. Gotta get on out the door to work. Much love, everybody. Much love.